Hi friend, I'm Olivia Smith. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel where I share the latest global news every day. You can also read more news on TimeGlitter.com. You can find all the links in the video description below. In case the link isn't working, simply copy and paste the link into your web browser, hit enter, and you're good to go. Now, let's jump into today's news. News headline: Trump co-opts Navalny's legacy as a smokescreen for his own legal morass. News details: Alexey Navalny, a Russian opposition leader, tragically passed away upon returning to confront President Vladimir Putin's oppressive regime, becoming a symbol of political resistance. However, Donald Trump is now attempting to appropriate Navalny's legacy to draw parallels with his own legal issues. Critics have lambasted the former president for his failure to denounce Putin following Navalny's suspicious death in a Russian prison, the circumstances of which remain unclear. Despite being given the opportunity during a Fox News event, Trump continued his trend of refraining from criticizing Putin, a leader known for quashing democratic freedoms and targeting political dissenters. While offering a subdued acknowledgement of Navalny, Trump swiftly reverted to promoting his unfounded claims of being politically persecuted. He mentioned the Russian critic, whose remains are still withheld from his loved ones, as a very courageous individual, but remarked that he likely made a mistake in returning to Russia before his imprisonment. Afterwards, Trump reverted back to his preoccupation with his own treatment within his country, contrasting it with Russia's lack of constitutional guarantees for a fair trial and political liberties. Unlike Russia, where citizens don't choose their president, America provides these freedoms. In our nation, similar events are unfolding. We're resembling a communist state in various aspects, and if you examine closely, I'm the primary target. I've been charged 4 times. I'm facing 8 or 9 trials, all because I'm involved in politics, stated Trump, the frontrunner for the GOP presidential candidacy, during the Fox News broadcast. Later, in reference to a recent $355 million civil fraud ruling against him, he equated it to tactics akin to Navalny's situation, likening it to communism or fascism. During a fundraising trip to the West Coast, President Joe Biden criticized his predecessor for his failure to condemn Putin's involvement in Navalny's death. Trump's refusal to even condemn Putin is unacceptable, he remarked. Drawing a distinction between Trump and Navalny is crucial. Navalny bravely returned to Russia despite surviving a poisoning attempt he attributed to Kremlin agents using a nerve agent. On the other hand, Trump, who has denied all charges against him and pleaded not guilty in his legal battles, is entitled to the presumption of innocence. He faces indictments from grand juries in cases where he's entitled to a trial by jury and has exercised his right to appeal multiple times. These legal protections are absent in the Russian legal system. Despite Trump's claims of persecution, he is undergoing prosecution according to the rule of law, including for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election and for retaining classified documents. In reality, Trump's authoritarian inclinations align more closely with Putin than with Navalny on a temperamental level. His pursuit of absolute presidential immunity from prosecution, which he seeks from the Supreme Court, and his vision of an unrestrained presidency bear resemblance to the Russian model rather than the American one. Trump has often praised Putin, even referring to him as a genius and smart. Despite Putin facing accusations of being a war criminal for his actions in Ukraine, during his presidency, Trump took actions that seemed to align with Russian objectives rather than long-term U.S. interests. He even chose to believe Putin's denials of election interference in 2016 over the assessments of his own intelligence agencies. Trump stands as the only U.S. president in history to contest the outcome of a democratic election and attempt to remain in power against the will of the voters, resembling a Russian autocrat in this regard. A fraught moment with Russia turns into a key 2024 election issue. The former president's reluctance to address Navalny's death comes at a time of strained relations between Washington and Moscow, amid heated debates about continued U.S. support for Ukraine, which is grappling with war. This issue is shaping up to be a focal point in the anticipated showdown between Biden and Trump in the upcoming general election. President Biden has openly criticized House Republicans, who, under Trump's influence, have blocked his proposed $60 billion arms and ammunition aid package for Ukraine, despite bipartisan support in the Senate. Biden strongly condemned Trump's recent comment at a campaign rally suggesting he would support Russia invading NATO partners that fail to meet defense spending targets. The White House announced announced on Tuesday that it is preparing additional sanctions on Russia following Navalny's death, adding to existing restrictions imposed over the Kremlin's actions in Ukraine. Biden's team is leveraging Trump's attempt to equate himself with Navalny as part of a broader strategy to portray the former president as unfit for a return to office. When Navalny died last week and the world holds Putin responsible, Trump fails to even condemn him. "It's outrageous," remarked President Biden at a fundraiser in Los Angeles on Tuesday evening, as reported by a pool report. "The bottom line is Republicans have to decide who do they serve, Donald Trump or the American people, because that's where it is right now." Biden reacted to Trump's remarks in a new social media video released before his Fox Town Hall event. The president also aimed to emphasize Trump's antagonism towards NATO allies, raising concerns that he might seek to withdraw from the alliance if re-elected, potentially dismantling a vital transatlantic security framework established after World War II, instrumental in winning the Cold War against the Soviet Union. The former president's words are extremely perilous. He stated he would encourage Russia to, and I quote, "do whatever the hell they want," end of quote. A statement heard globally. "Such rhetoric only emboldens reckless actions," Biden remarked. The White House, in an effort to exert pressure on House Speaker Mike Johnson, has attributed recent setbacks on the Ukrainian battlefield, where forces are facing ammunition shortages, to the Republican reluctance to advance the arms package. It was noted that Ukrainian forces had to retreat from Avdiivka due to dwindling supplies, resulting in significant gains for Russia. With the approaching second anniversary of the Russian invasion, Biden reassured Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky of ongoing U.S. support. However, given the political gridlock in Washington, it remains uncertain whether these assurances can be upheld. Looking ahead, considering Trump's antagonism towards Ukraine and his deferential attitude towards Putin, the future of Ukraine, alongside America's, will be at stake in the November elections. Don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe.